Hey everyone, welcome back to another video. Today I'm going to show you how to make fall watercolor florals. So let's do it!
Okay, so to start, I'm going to go through my materials. I have my Arches watercolor paper, I have my Winsor Newton watercolors in my palette, and I'm going to be using my Princeton snap brush. I have a size 16, size 12, and yeah. Okay, so to start, we're going to start off with the sunflower, which I love in the fall. It makes your bouquets look super bright and beautiful. So to start, we are going to make a brown. If you already have brown paint, that's great. If you don't, you could make it many different ways. Right now, I'm just gonna use a purple and an orange. Can you see? Sorry. Like that. And a bit of black to make it pretty dark. Okay. And I'm just gonna make a rough circle in the middle, like that. Okay. Actually, you want it quite big because the center of a sunflower is pretty large. Now you don't want it to be too wet because you're going to be touching the edges of this to make and going out to make the petals, and if you do that, what I've learned, a lot of the brown will seep into the petals too much, or to the point where it doesn't really look great. So you don't want big puddles of paint in the center, but you want it fairly dark. Okay. So there we go. Now we're gonna do the petals. So I'm gonna get a light yellow. What I'm gonna do is I'm gently gonna touch with light pressure a little bit of the center, light pressure, heavy pressure, light pressure, to make the petals, just using the shape of my brush, like that. Okay, so a little bit of the brown will seep into the petals, which you want, but just not a ton of it, right? So if you were to drag it out more, then all the brown would go in. Also, you want to make sure you have white spaces in between your petals, because if you don't, what I've learned is that you'll end up getting a big blob like that, and it doesn't look great. So you just keep going around. And the petals do not have to be perfect. Just kind of, this is a loose floral tutorial, so don't be too hard on yourself if it doesn't look perfect all the way around. You just want to kind of go quick and easy, and yeah. So yeah, just make sure you have those white spaces in between, because you don't want that big blob of a sunflower. Like that. Now if your petals are still wet, which they should be, you can always go in with different yellows as well, just to give it some depth. So I'm going to take a bit of this dark yellow, maybe add a bit of orange, and just kind of touch some of the petals just to give it a little something extra. Brighten it up a bit. Just very messy, loose petals, okay? There we go. And then you are going to go and get some green. I'm going to use some sap green. And I'm just going to do some greenery behind. Very rough lines. Does not have to be perfect. Again, make sure you have those white spaces. Try not to fill them in. Okay, just little bits of green around, like that. And if you wanted to, you could add a stem or more leaves, and like that. And now I'm just also gonna go back into the middle and just add a bit more of the darker pigment just to get some range in the tone around. Just tap it like that. And just play with it of how you like, okay? I like adding darker bits, just I feel it just gives it a little something extra. Okay, and there's your sunflower. Okay, so the next flower I am going to show you is the Carnation. We're gonna do like a burgundy color carnation. Carnations I feel like are always in season. So I already have brown here. I'm just gonna take a bit of my red and just mix it to make this burgundy maroonish red color, like that. Okay, and I'm gonna take a light wash of it to begin with, so that means more water on your brush, then paint. And I'm just gonna kind of do like a rough edged petal. I'm gonna do a bigger one over here in the middle. So you have one little section here, one here. Again, try and get some white space in there. And then another section here. This is kind of like a side view of a carnation. Okay. Then I'm going to get some green and make kind of like a bulb shape at the bottom. And you can definitely touch a bit of the red. You don't want to keep mixing it because then it will just turn brown, but you can definitely touch it so it seeps into each other. Make another little bulb part in the stem, and then some kind of little rough little leaves like that. Like so. And then you can go back in with your green again, a bit darker this time. Like that. And then you're going to take your burgundy color again, a bit more paint this time, or more red if you like, and just add some squigglies. Just again to give it some more shadow. You can add a bit more dark towards the bottom if you like. That was a bit too much. I'm just gonna go back in with my red. Okay. Like that. And there is your carnation. Next time I'd probably try and add a bit more white space in the middle here. Not a huge fan of how it turned out, but you know, you keep practicing and you see what you like and see what you don't like, and you try again. Okay, so there's our burgundy carnation. The next one is not really a flower, but I see it in a lot of outdoor fall arrangements. Is kind of like a kale bouquet. And I really like when it's kind of that really bright purple color with the greenish sage color around it. So I'm gonna start off with my mauve color for the middle. And I'm gonna kind of do what I do with the roses, where I do in like little sections. So I'm gonna do small, like that, like little sections like that, and then just kind of like a rough section going around. I don't know if this makes sense, guys. I apologize. That. And again, you want that white space. Okay. And then you're going to slowly, gradually go into a sagey color. So you have your mauve, and you can take your green, start mixing it so it's a darker purple. Touch it a bit. Do your next layer, just really rough, kind of squiggles in sections, leaving white space in between. Okay. Again, what I love about loose florals is that it doesn't have to be like a rigid shape. You can just kind of go with the flow. So then I'm gonna add more green to this so I can get more of that sagey kind of color. Actually, this is more of a bright. So I'm adding a bit of a darker purple because I want that greenish color. And I'm just gonna gently touch parts of this. That. And you just go around. So really what's making this look like it is using that white space, all those white spaces in between. If not, you're gonna have a big blob of color, right? So just kind of roughly go around, but make sure you have that white space. And so I'm gonna go back in with some more paint and just touch parts of it so it gets darker in some parts to give it that depth. Okay, maybe towards the inner parts, not necessarily the top of the leaves. Okay. Like that. Take some of the mauve again and purple. Just add a little. And it's darker as it goes to the middle. Because the leaves are tighter there and there's more shadow. Like that. Might add a bit more darker green again. And just keep kind of blending and layering to make it look the way you want it to. And there you go. And that's kind of like the kale leafy green part of it. The next flower I'm going to do, or actually the next leaf I'm going to do, is willow eucalyptus. So it's kind of like the other eucalyptus, but it's a longer stem or longer leaves. So I'm just going to make a quick stem. You can use a smaller brush for this if you like. And then I'm gonna use my green that I used for these leaves, the purple and green kind of mixed. And I'm going to go light pressure, heavy pressure, light pressure, and then flick down kind of. Light pressure, heavy pressure, light pressure. And they're just longer leaves. Okay. Like that. Some of them can be bending down, like that. Some of them can be straight. And then I'm just gonna go back in with my darker green again to give it that shadow. And just touch, maybe where it touches the stem a bit. Like that. And make sure your leaves are still wet so it blends and it's not just an extra layer on top. And there you go. There's your eucalyptus or willow eucalyptus. Okay. Next I'm going to show you a poppy, a really quick poppy. I don't really know if you see those in floral bouquets very often, but I don't know. I was trying to come up with flowers. I'm not a florist. I don't know flowers very well, but I love painting them. So I see what looks good and I just try. Okay. So I'm gonna make kind of like a curved, how do I explain this? A curvy top petal. And they're kind of fatter and rounder. And then I'm gonna make another one using that white space in between so you can see the differences, like that. And then one on top, so like this. And if you can hear a baby crying, I'm sorry, my son's with my husband right now and he's crying. Just woke up from a nap. Okay, so now I did a light wash of that. Now I'm just gonna go back in with a darker, more paint on my brush. And just tap around like that. Again, like that. I love adding the shadows. I think that's like my favorite part. So this is a side view of a poppy, and I'll do a quick front view, like open view too. Then I'm gonna use some black just down here. I'm just gonna gently touch like that. And then a stem, maybe take a bit of green and add it to the stem, like that. You can do like that. I'm gonna do an open view as well. So I'm gonna use that curvy petal again. It's almost kind of like a heart. Okay, I'm gonna do another one. It's like a, I wish I was better at explaining things. This. Okay, like that, and then I'm just gonna go back in, add my darker pigment, like that. Very rough. It does not have to be perfect again. And then take your black for the middle and just gently touch. You don't want too much seeping in, but you do want a little bit, right? You like that little effect, like that. But if you do too much, it will take over the red, like that. And you can always add your green. Touch the red a bit. Okay. And there you go, there's your poppy. And last but not least, we're just gonna do some small berries. Okay, so I wanna do like peach colored berries, right? It's always a nice little accent. So I'm just gonna make some light little rough circles like this. Like that. And then I'm just gonna take my small brush right now just so I don't overpower it with my big brush. I'm gonna take some sap green color. I have 2 sap greens. I don't know why I put them both in there, but I did. And I'm just going to make the stem. Not gonna touch it yet. Like that. And then just gently touch the bottom of the berries. Here we go. I'm sorry if you hear conversation in the background. My in-laws are here. And I'm just trying to get things done when I can. Someone's looking after the baby. Okay, and there you go. There's some berries. You know, you can add a little bit of leaves. La la la. Okay, and now I'm just gonna go back in, get some more of that orangey color. Maybe a bit of pink too, to do some of the shadowy part on the berries. Okay. And there you go. And there is a bunch of fall florals for you. Now, I'd like to see people putting them together and see if you can create some sort of bouquet.
Thank you guys so much for watching my video. I hope you enjoyed it and I hope you learned something. Don't forget to subscribe to this channel for more videos and also follow me on Instagram for more. Yeah, for more. Say have a great day. Bye.